Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. Is Alexander Zverev a future world number one? It looks more and more likely. He just won the ATP Tour Finals for a second time, and he beat Medvedev in the final and Djokovic in the semi-final. So Zverev has kind of shown in 2021, in my opinion, that he can be very, very consistent. Those double fault problems are gone. His serve is a huge weapon. He's extremely solid from the back of the court, can play grinding tennis, but can also accelerate into the ball and get massive power. So Zverev's year 2022 has been very good. 5 titles, 2 Masters titles, still no Grand Slams. Why is that? I don't know. We will see if he can get into Grand Slam winning mode in 2022. That would be very interesting. Let me know your thoughts about Zverev's future career in the comments below. He is now ranked number 3 in the world. He was already number 3 in 2017 as the youngest player since Djokovic, but now it feels more deserved. Now it feels like he's more ready to take on the biggest titles, and he's beaten Djokovic in the Olympics and now in the ATP Tour Finals. And if you look at the top 10 players, they definitely seem to be getting taller, not the actual people, but overall as an average, the top 500 players in the world are quite tall now. I think the average around 1.85 or 6'1", something like that. And Zverev is 198, so very close to 2 meters. Medvedev is also extremely tall. Tsitsipas, Berrettini, these players are very tall and still moving extremely well. Before, you couldn't be that tall and move that well. You had a strength in your serve, perhaps a strength in some power from your shots, in that extra leverage, but you couldn't move as fast as these guys are doing. But these guys can play pretty much any type of tennis required. They can scurry around the baseline, play defensive tennis, but they can also go for it with big serve, big ground strokes. So we're definitely seeing kind of a shift in the physical attributes, especially on the men's tour, in what you see in the top level tennis players. Is that a good trend or not? Not sure. I mean, I kind of like having the variety of tennis when you're seeing guys like Diego Schwartzman, Sebastian Baez, these types of guys, Nishioka, that are like 170, 5'7". They're really short players on average, but they still manage to play tennis on the highest level. And I think that's fascinating when you have someone that's much shorter and has a different style and different characteristic of play versus a taller player, for example, with more power, etc. So I think the variety in tennis is its main strength. So we need to make sure it doesn't become this monotone baseline hitting where all the players need to be closer to 2 meters to actually perform, and it becomes kind of like basketball where you need to be tall. I think that would be extremely sad for tennis as a sport, and I sometimes have a harder time getting excited about these matches, for example, between Medvedev and Zverev. Although I perhaps should, because the quality of tennis is extremely high. But I like a more contrast of styles, and I feel like these rallies are super skilled, but it's kind of endless sometimes, and you can't out-hit the other player. It seems like they're moving so well, covering the court so well, and that's just kudos and big thumbs up. But it's sometimes not as fun to watch as players with different styles and different characteristics. That's just my personal opinion. Keen to hear your thoughts about that. But big praise for Zverev. I mean, very impressive year, despite having his ongoing abuse allegations by his ex-girlfriend Olga Sharipova. And we'll see what happens with that. It's hard for some people, including myself, to cheer for him until that's resolved and till the truth comes out there. Not sure if you feel the same, but it puts a little bit of a dampener on the mood when he's winning big titles. So I hope that they can resolve that situation ASAP. Because on the court it doesn't seem to affect him at all. He's playing extremely well, very solid, no issues with the serve, as I said, and the way he beat both Djokovic and Medvedev was very impressive. So I think he has a good year in 2022 ahead of him, and probably will see a Grand Slam title soon. I mean, Medvedev already has one. Zverev seems to be next in my estimation. I've made a video before about Zverev's racket. I was ranting a bit about Zverev and his behavior and attitude, and that's not really relevant anymore. He seems to be in a better place as a person, as a player, perhaps. So Apologies if you're a Zverev fan and I went a bit hard on him. But let's dive into his racket specs again, because I got these pics from David Hoffman, who won his racket in an auction, and I got the full specs. He measured it and gave me some details about the racket, which is cool. So you'll have the pictures here. It's a Head Gravity Pro Stock. I think Pro Stock code is 3.344.1, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure Head Pro Stock wizards on the Tennis Warehouse forums like DR325i or VS Babolat can correct me there. I'm not an expert on all the Pro Stock codes, but I think it's 344 TGT 344.1. So the specs, 342.5 grams is the total weight, including strings and dampener. Not outrageous, but it all depends on where the weight is located and the balance. And the balance is 32.8 centimeters, around 4 to 5 points head light. I've seen estimations of this swing weight to be around 355-60. That sounds about logical to me with this kind of weight and specs setup. He has silicone in the handle, uses synthetic grip, no leather grip here. His grip size is 3. The mold is identical to the retail Gravity Pro. Same thickness, same string pattern. Zverev's racket doesn't have the word Pro on it. It's a Pro Stock, so they do take some liberties with the paint there. But the Gravity Pro has really taken a lot of players on all levels by storm. You're seeing advanced players on club level, pros like Zverev, Rublev, Ash Barty using the Gravity in different formats of the Gravity. Ash Barty uses a 16-19, but the Gravity Pro overall has been a racket that really impressed a lot of pros and a lot of rec players. I really like it myself. Feels a little bit too much on the one-handed backhand with that teardrop 100 square inch head size, but overall it's a fantastic racket. Love serving with it. I handed it to my buddy Alberto the other day because he wanted to try it, and he was really sold as well. So that seems to be a racket release that really was a bestseller, kind of based on the old Head Graphene Speed MP mold from several years back. I'm not sure they're exactly the same, but that's where the inspiration to the Gravity Pro came from, and that was what Zverev used before. And it's yeah, I really like the Gravity Pro. It's a great frame. I can see why top players use it. I think also Basilashvili uses it now, going from the Prestige Rev that he was using before. So we're definitely seeing an adoption on all levels of tennis of the Gravity, and it's a very nice stick. So there you have Zverev's specs. I hope you found that useful if you didn't already know them. What will happen to Zverev in 2022? Keen to hear your thoughts. It definitely looks like a very strong contender for a Grand Slam titles next year. So when the next season starts, we will get to know more. And which Grand Slam do you think he has his biggest chance? US Open, Australian Open would be my predictions, and not seeing it as much on grass and clay. But who knows? Well, that's all about Zverev's recent success. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please click like, share, subscribe, tell your tennis friends. And if you want to support the work I do, please go to patreon.com/tennisnerd and join there, or you can also buy something from my affiliates. The links are in the description. I get a small commission at no extra cost to you if you do. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day, and don't forget to play some tennis.